Good afternoon, traders. 12 o'clock, obviously. I shouldn't say obviously, but
Order submitted.
I turned my head on this one completely and forgot
Order
about it.
submitted. Order submit. Order filled.
Okay. This is, you keep looking at the bigger picture here and take a look at this. We watched this early this morning and look at the Dow's coming again to their low. And now they're back under that MA with both of them, in fact. I mean, it is possible this thing could continue to roll. I don't know what they have in store for today. Today, it's been an inside day. It hasn't gone really far, but at the end of the day, you take advantage of it. These are the moving average has been keeping creeping lower and lower, and we can't get above it. And you can just see it. The market just continues to roll down, but it can't break the dam. Will they do it now? I mean, we'll have to see. This is about as low as they've gotten all morning. Um, and maybe they're going to go for it right now. So, and then it's just I'm taking the opposite approach I took all morning, which was to take the longs, and it was horrible. I mean, look at these, and I ended up making money on this junk. So, but that's because I'm trading it more aggressively from the key locations, and it's plus management. I mean, I'm paying attention to the fact that it can't get going. So I'm not going to get multiple handles on the upside because it keeps failing to get through the MA. Sooner or later, I'm going to take that. I'm going to take notice, and I'm going to look to go the other way, as I did. I did it here, and I got first half of my first part of it, and then it rolled up on me and it stopped me out because I'm not playing games with the shorts. It's a bull trend acceleration. I'm maybe this one will pay out a little more. They gave me another lower pivot high, and I got everything in my favor: momentum, the ribbon. I got the Dow making a new low, so we're gonna just have to see how this one plays out. And you can see I'm trading it really small because I realize what kind of day it is, and I don't need to get run over trading size. Although I took a pretty decent position this morning down here, and that's because that is a second move off of the morning sell off. And you always take advantage of that. I missed this. I wasn't on it at the bell. They rammed them. They got to the pivot. Then it was what are we gonna do? Usually in a bull trend acceleration, they usually give you one good shot back to the upside. They gave you it. They failed at the MA, and then the day got goofy. It was like they didn't know what they wanted to do with it, and now it's starting to roll over a little bit. Look at that, lower high, and the pressure's to the downside now. So you got to go with the trend, and the trend right now is pushing to the downside. And we'll see how far this wants to push this. 63 looks like a possibility. I'm usually an area to area trader, but it's inside day, so it's not a lot of volume, not a lot of push, not a lot of interest. But let's just see what happens here. See if they can take this low. I don't see any major size, although there's some pretty decent size right in here. We'll see if they rip it out. I don't know. You can easily double bottom out of here and shoot back up and just take everybody with them. So what I'm going to do is
Order submitted.
put in a two tick scratch stop, and I'll just manage this and pay attention. Let's see if we get a double bottom out of here. If not, I'll get that next target. I already picked up 7 evens on this trade, so it's a net winner, and I'm just playing with the casino money right now. So you can see, let's pull where's my Dow? There's my Dow chart. Where was the first low? 102, 098. Oh, so they've made a new one. Okay. You can see momentum strong to the downside. So there's no rush to look for an exit yet. Let this thing see where this bottom wants to be. And you can just see this thing is just grinding. Let's see what the 2-1 chart's showing. I don't really, it's just rolling, so we'll see. So there's your tap. They made it, that's the, couldn't take it out, at least not yet. I notice a valid sell zone or trying to work the crowd. You watch, I gotta be careful here. See, look at that double bottom in play. You got the Dow, red to blue, and this is why you have to, even on an inside day, you got a short position, you have to protect your position, manage it carefully. Couldn't even take out the low, and it should, but it's just one of those days. And this thing has been so jacked up. So I'm going to try to take one off, like another one off here, because I don't want this thing to run up against me. This is the advantage you have. You took some profit, you know, and it's this one's in your hands. Or at least at your discretion. All right, so we're going to change all of this, and we're going to make it a one lot. And you know what? I'm going to let this thing go.
Order canceled.
I'd like to see this come all the way down. And so you got usually they when there's action, there's at least a 10 handle range, but we haven't even gotten it. I don't even know if we have a 10 handle. Yeah, we actually do have a 10 handle range. We have a 78, 67. What was the high this morning? 79. So yeah, barely. So this is a really quiet day. Yeah. See, momentum. There was no reason for me to get out. I was just trying to be safe. But you can see the momentum didn't even budge, and now they're going to push down. So that's all right. We'll see how far they want to take them. It doesn't make a difference. You made money on the trade, so that's all that counts. I mean, look at this picture, and I'll be honest with you, it's really not pretty. Look at the Dow. I mean, everybody, look at the ES. Everybody's just really rolling, but it's not actually it's not exploding to the downside, at least not yet. So we're just gonna have to see how far they want to push it. This is the way this whole session's been. It's been a gradual move in both directions, but yet again, it's just showing you the importance of the moving averages, which I continue to emphasize, and you can just see right there. We couldn't get through it. And one last time right there. And you can just see lower high, and the breakdown. You see the Dow still rolling. You know, momentum is strong, still to the downside. But you can just see this is because we're in such a bull trend phase that it's just gradual. It's nobody really wants to press it, but selling can get contagious. So, or anything, this market's been pretty jacked up. Um, you know, it's been extended fairly significantly, and the question would be, are we due for any type of significant retracement? There is a pretty big gap and up below us. I don't know if they'll do it today, but we'll just have to see. First things first. We'll see what it does if it can get down to the first support level down here at S1. This is why I tend to trade a little few more contracts because you just never know, and sometimes you just get a pleasant surprise when you do. You're watching MR Strategies on the 28th of June, live presentation. Got to give me time with this. I'm trying to do this a little better live in terms of going directly into the live format, but for some reason I'm not sure how to do it. I think I have to find my cameras. I thought it was a little more straightforward. It wasn't. I need to make some attachments, so I'm gonna have to call my kids in on this to help me out. I am just, I'm just not good at it. I just know how to turn my computer on and trade. That's pretty much all I know how to do. So again, we talked about all of this morning, and I know it's a long video, guys. I'm trying to keep it short, and gals, whoever's watching, uh, you know, I mean, look at that day. But despite all of this nonsense, it's still telling you something, and that was that it can never get over the MA, even as bullish as this markets has been, and it's tried. It couldn't go, and this right here was generally where it should have exploded, and it didn't. So, I mean, as usual, they just nail all the early traders. It's like they keep them up. You can see right here was a nice pivot reversal long. Uh, I can't tell about five. I don't know what time. 5:30 in the morning. You can just see price. Look at it. It was a chop session. They were kind of showing it all day. This was Friday. So you know, and this is the key. This is just a classic. A pinch through the location, significant reversal with momentum. I missed it, but this has been the best trader today, period. I mean, that is 10 solid handles to the downside, and I'm fairly sure those were uninterrupted. I mean, look at how hard that pushed below that ribbon, and then it started to challenge it. Gave you the first pull right here, which is that's the signal, heads up. And now it's about the bottoming out process. And here's the second signal, which is just the one I took. And I got two of my uh, locations on that trade. And then the chop fest began. And then I just changed my approach and managed my positions a little differently. And then right here, these two lower pivot highs, failures from the 15 MA was my signal to play the short side. And it was pretty much telling you all morning. I mean, you could have played that way this morning as well, but there's just these areas were not just the greatest short locations. And the only reason I took these is that it came with confirmation. So Dow was still trying to bottom out. Uh, I don't know. Let me take a look real fast and take a look at. Let's just see how much further could this go if it wants to get rolling. Yikes! That's all the way down there. I just don't know if that's it's possible, but like I said, things can get really goofy and fast. Plus, we're kind of rolling into the 1 o'clock hour, and that's even more bearish. But we'll just have to see. Don't get too ahead of ourselves or myself. I told you I'd bring in a Nasdaq chart. Let's just take a look. Only so you can just see how kind of not as much influence with the Nasdaq in terms of. I mean, yes, if you're in a short position, you want them all going your way, but you can still the Nasdaq swings back and forth, and the ES won't budge at all. It's a little thinner. They move a lot faster, and they have made a contract high and have been rolling over since. And I think they spent most of this day above their highest resistance level. So how much will they start? This could turn into an interesting day to the downside. I could be really honest with you. They might want to take advantage of the of all the of that gap, which starts at about 53 to 33. I just don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. The first things first. Let it get down to S1, and then from S1 we'll decide which way we want to go. They'll say something from here, and they'll either bounce or consolidate and maybe return back to the upside, but or they'll just continue and push. And this too would be the beginning of the gap, the top of the gap, 53 right there. But don't get too excited. Doesn't mean get short here and think it's going to happen. It's got to prove itself. So, Coco, get out. My apologies if it gets a little loud in the background. Got a new puppy, and it's relentless. And they stopped at 4 1/4. Nobody's business. Let's just see whether or not this is going to be a turn or not. Because here's what you got to pay attention to. With the same approach we took this morning, look at all this downside ribbon. Now, don't get me wrong. And there's a bull trend acceleration. They can wipe this out in a heartbeat. So, that's the power of the bull trend is could be quite amazing. And you can see right here, they're already trying to get the institutions in on this, and we'll see whether or not it's legit. You see the Dow returned. I will not get aggressively get you into a long down in here. I'm even debating whether I want to reverse out, but I'm all about confirming what they're going to do. And another two ticks, and this thing's going to turn blue. Four and a quarter, seven and a quarter, three handles, 12 ticks. That's how the bar changes on this chart right here. It's already changed on the 4-1. But like I said, look at momentum. Momentum is still negative. It is decelerating. It's the beginning. It's got to decelerate somewhere, you know. So and now you're going to get a blue bar. So I'm waiting to see if the Dow decides to even attempt to roll over. And otherwise, I'm going to probably get punched out. And that's pretty much the top of this ribbon. So we'll see what this market can prove. Still got negative momentum. Bar hasn't locked in. I mean, it could go two different ways. It could literally stop dead in its tracks right here and create a lone wolf back to the downside. But I don't think so. But let's just see what happens. And I'll explain that another time. I mean, there's a lot of little tricks in this that I utilize with this particular platform and in the development of it. Too much for me to really explain in a short video. I'm still in the process of establishing a website for a better idea of exactly how to play this platform. And, I'm giving you the crib sheets to it with my advanced trading strategies to boot. So, you know, just absorb what you can and see if this works out for you. And if there's something you think you could like to do and learn, and we could talk about that as well. If you're already trading, then more power to you. Take advantage of this. And, eventually I'm going to go establish my own room. I think, depending on demand, I'll see how it goes. And I will be looking to charge a monthly subscription fee for the service. I think it's valuable. I think you can see there's an extreme amount of consistency of success with this style of trading. It takes a lot more patience, and I think that's really important for all traders, no matter how you trade. You can't get caught up in all the zing zang. And interesting, I just said a second ago, we'll see if this does. We'll see. They're fighting it right now. See how the Dow had just rolled over again, and see how it ticked almost to a lock bar, but at bottom of this tone, and they're trying to roll it, but they're not. States they still have momentum to the downside, so there's no need to even think about the long until this is a completely official. And right now they're weighing it. And if it rolls, this is a perfect example of what I call lone wolf. If this continues to the downside, you'll see that on occasion in the market, it'll try to squeeze all the late shorts out with one hard pull up, but never really lock in to the upside. I see that a lot. And then it continues with the trend. But like I said, I don't know what they're going to do. This is a really bullish trend, bullish market. All right. And you're basically taking a counter trend short against the bull trend, but that's what they're telling you. So you got to trade what the facts are, and the facts right are the market since the opening has not been able to get over the 15 moving averages on your moving averages on your 15-minute chart. In fact, you could probably run some trend lines now off of these highs, and that's pretty much what you need to be dealing with right now if this thing's going to reverse, and that's pretty much where my stops at is right at the trend line. It's probably not a great location, but we'll just see. I don't really care. I'll take it. It just keeps breaking. I'll take it down further. Okay, you got commercial selling right at that peak point. Okay, and here's a confirmation, but maybe we're going back down. Another sell, another commercial. It was all momentum. That's all you're really paying attention to when you're trading, guys, is the momentum. It tells you everything. That's why you never get caught up with price. Like that turn up here, some traders would have been scrambling. You know, momentum's negative. Where's it going? It's just a little profit taking. That's all that bar was profit taking. Will it double? It could double down. It could double down here and go right back up. We'll see. Look at the Dow. Dow's leaking. So let the position ride. This is how you trade this platform and how to take advantage of trading multiple contracts and multiple exit points and adjusting your stops accordingly. Stops should always be where the market will not go. And when I put the trade on, my stop was all the way up above this pivot right there. 72, it was 72 half. I tend to use wider stops than most, uh, mainly due to my to the fact that I'm trading high probability areas. So I want to let those areas work for me, you know, and it usually plays out well. I mean, obviously, if I'm wrong, I'm going to have that option to even get out and take my losses beyond a three if I see something that is not working out my way. But for the most part, it's a safer play because a lot of times what the institutions will do, because they know a lot of traders are taking certain positions at spots because they're setting it up, and they give you squeeze outs. And the squeeze outs are going to be around two handles because they know that's how most traders are entering or putting on their stop losses. So, but as a new trader, I strongly suggest that you always risk reward should be even, two on, two off, three on, three off. That's my take on it. But if you're beginning, you're playing for two handles with a stop loss of two handles. That way, one lot, your loss is $100, your gain is $100. But if you can consistently stick to the program, put on two or three great trades, you're talking about $300-400 a day. There's nothing wrong with that, you know. And if you can do that consistently, you're talking about a $1,500 week at least, and it adds up. It's a $4,000, $5,000 month. That's 60 grand. No, you're not going to always have winning days. There's going to be losing days. They're not all going to work out perfectly. But when you trade from the key locations, you're putting yourself in a much better position than most traders are. Okay, and you notice already the results of that. You've seen it in my presentations for the last 2 weeks. So that is an official double bottom, or no, maybe not yet. So, and the Dow is once again trying to pull up. This is why you're trying to see a little bit of a push, but I don't think it's enough. This is pretty significant negative momentum. So, gotta let this bad boy, let this thing play out, and let's see what they do at S1. If they get there, I gotta assume with the way this is at, the way this is acting, that's where they're going. Let's see if the Dow makes another lower pivot high right here and rolls over. That'll get us to S1. In fact, where are the key levels in the Dow? It's all the way down here, 38,047. In fact, that was where the Dow was actually. See, so the Dow was definitely saying something. That's why we'll just see whether or not it's going to be relevant. Like I said, I can't talk these trades into filling out. I can only anticipate where they could go, and that's part of how I trade. I see the development. I engage when I see the confirmation, and then I play the areas accordingly. One volume, and the volume is heavier, and there's a little more. I'm actually at a loss for this word. Volatility. My God, I knew it was a V, and I'm like stuck. Like I was tongue tied. This move would be well on its way to here. It would be area to area. It's just this is one of those days. It's dragging. The market's been dragging for a bunch of days now, and that's usually what's happening when you make an extreme high after you've had a just a massive run up. So we'll just have to see. Even oil's rolling over, so maybe there's something else going on here. So we'll just have to see. I mean, it kind of broke that steep trend line, and I don't have anything of true relevance. I don't know if this is no a trend line. I don't think this is as relevant. And these MAs are all the way down here. So I mean, we're not in much trouble there yet. So we'll have to worry about it when we get there. And so I'll just wait. So in the short, this is I don't know how long we've been on now. I'll play this out for another what time is it? 12:30. Oh, I gotta mute, guys. Okay. I'm sorry about that. Trying to mute the noise, the background noise, and we still. And you can see this is like a triple bottom. I don't know. This thing can run all the way back up here, guys. 68 a quarter. So looks like they're not quite ready to roll this thing down just yet. And that's just based on the phase we're in. It's just markets are so bullish that you just don't know when they want to or where they're going to find their support and just decide to just ram it. So let's just see. I mean, the picture is roughly negative all the way across the board, but we'll just have to see how it plays out. Based on my history in this market, um, there's been a couple. Sometimes there's some time oriented trades and patterns, and usually they buy into lunch and sell at one. That used to be one. That used to be one of the locations, and that was like I had a lot of relationship back in the old days to the bonds closing. Uh, there was always pay a lot of attention to that. I used to trade on the floor, um, and it used to be tick for tick, relatively to an extent, and I always watch that. So that's why there was those time related trading points. I mean, sometimes you'll see volume come in at the even hours, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, maybe 10:30. Those are also key high times effect. 10:30 is always a big time too. Euro closes, but it was such a quiet day that nothing significant really took place at 10:30. So it doesn't make a difference. when I do get this right in terms of the live presentation, I'll be able to interact with anybody who's actually watching this with me, and I can really answer more questions for you guys. But I'm giving you as much as I can under the circumstances, and I think I've been fairly informative as this is going on. So once again, I hope this makes is making sense to you. Once again, it's a game of patience. In terms of what I do, all the way around the board, in terms of how I take profits, I'm willing to let this market do play out for me because I watch it. I pay a lot of attention to the patterns, but I'm also aware when days are not going to present that to me, and you have to manage accordingly. And then you're just being foolish. So you can see all that posturing and looking to go higher. The Dow has got their legs back underneath them a little bit here, but like I said, it could go all the way up to 8 and a quarter and still fail. So I am going to do.
Order canceled.
I'm going to take it down to that price point.
Order submitted.
Lock myself in this and be done with it. If it turns and a long presents itself, we'll have that opportunity. Once again, 7 and a quarters is the printout to turn this upwards. I still think this thing should roll over, and if I get stopped out and I see another key signal to the downside, I'm going to take it because something's a little off here today. Everything says this thing should go further down, but the overall trend in the market says otherwise. And here it goes. It's going to lock to a blue. There's your blue bar. You need two to lock in for the long position. I'm not pushing it. I'm going to just let this short play out, and I'm going to take it from there. I'm not particularly fond of the long down here underneath the ribbon. Momentum can come back up, fool everybody, and roll right back down. But like I said, if it's a legitimate move, I'll probably have a shot. So we'll just have to see. You're probably saying to yourself, well, why not get out now? Well, I'm just going to let it play out. I locked in 2.5 handles on both of my first two contracts, and you know what? It's okay. I probably would have gotten filled on my second entry, but I pulled it to be safe and took them off at 7 even, and it kind of rolled back down and got it. And then I was waiting for it to go a little further. It didn't, so we'll just have to wait. Pay attention to the Dow. See if the Dow maybe can roll over one more time and stay and give us another shakedown. I'm always thinking about that gap, although we're 13 handles from it. But I've seen crazier day. I think crazier things happen in my time. So let's just see what happens. Okay. Let's see. Show you something. Let's see if. Like I said, some people trade this 2-1 chart. They see this. They watch for this little price get above this yellow bar, but they're playing it small. You know, I don't. The reason why I don't scalp for probably for multiple reasons. I love the areas because of how much I can get out of my trades and the fact that I don't have to overtrade. I don't want to get caught up in too much commission, so I don't care to scalp this market. I'm going to put the money into it, then I'm going to pick it from my spots and I'm going to leverage. I'd rather trade, make my multiple handles from one key spot than have to do it 6 times over to make the same amount. So that incurs commissions that comes off the top. Why? Why bother? So looks like they're gonna hit this trend line and I'm going to get punched out. And this would probably be an area to get long. Maybe I'm not taking it. I'm not crazy about it. So I'm just gonna let it play out. I don't take them all. That's how I trade, despite it all. This is a lock bar. This is no, it's not a lock bar because you haven't got a pivot, but you got two blues. But I stick to what's important to me, and right here, this ribbon still significantly stretched to the downside. Like I said, it can be ripped out in 2 seconds, especially in a bull trend. And here you can see this institutional fighting going on right here. I think they're trying to fake out with a selling pressure. I think they're good. I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do here, but this is why I stay with it and don't get caught up with an aggressive long because this thing can easily roll over and you can get punched out. Fighting the zone, the interstitial cell zone, which is fairly big, but like I said, this could come out in seconds. I'll tell you this much: if this rolls down hard, I'm going to add on to the short position because then I think something else is going on because that's what I'm anticipating here. But let's see how it plays out. Got lucky there, did not get punched out thus far. So, like I said, this could change in 2 seconds. Yeah, you can see that if that zone is kind of they're just playing games. They're fading it. This kind of thing it turns solid blue. In fact, wasn't that the original zone all morning? Yeah, see. So that was it. That was the area they liked this morning. So they're teetering with that right now. So like I said, it can reestablish yourself. It could be a legitimate opportunity for a long. You know, if you're risky, you better seasoned trader, 7 even or better if you can get it. Two handle stop. Otherwise, I wouldn't chase it. Ideally, this thing should get back to the pivot if it gets rolling. So Dow's not giving up either. Dow looking pretty good here. A lot of room to the upside. That's what's helping the longer position is the Dow's confirming it as well. So actually, I will get stopped out.
Order submitted.
So let's see if I'll play. I'm just playing with it, playing this right now. I'll just see if I can get a better price. Yeah, I'm gonna get the quarter, so there it is.
Order filled.
All right, so there's your trend line right there at 8 1/4. You got a buy zone coming in. You got bars in your favor.
Order submitted.
I'll play a pullback. Like I said, I saw that coming. Let me pay more attention here. This is just a tough spot, but if this is any sign of how this has been developing all morning, then this is going to be where this thing's going to take off and go back to the up to higher, back to the highs. But I don't like the timing of all this, so I'm
Order canceled.
just going to just wait. And I saw that developing a while ago with this right here with the Dow. I could have gotten into this sooner. I talked about it. I said, I don't want to be too aggressive. and we probably could have taken it around. We could have easily gotten 67s.
Order
Let's
submitted.
try a 67 and a half pullback. Let's see if they give us one. Uh,
Order submitted.
one shot. And even though this thing is taking off, might take off, one of the keys that I like to extend to all traders, don't chase it. You got to have an idea. Whatever your price is, that's your price, and let it be. You know, sometimes you'll get the pullbacks, and you'll be quite happy about it. But when you chase it, you get yourself caught up in it, and then you get killed on the sneaky roll downs. It's just not wise. Stick to the game plan. Don't change. Don't alter it. So, and you can see here now the MAs are all the way here. Now it's a whole different game. Anything going above that pivot now, and it's going to be all the buyers can come right back in and turn this into a big move to the upside. So, and it's a two tiered. It could be a two-tier day. So this thing's got away. I could have reversed out. I should have, but I didn't. It's all right. I don't want to overtrade. It's been a good morning or good afternoon, especially in terms of this range and what I've taken out of it. I can't complain. So I always talk about not needing to trade every little pattern. You just don't want to do that. Trade the right ones that count. Be smart. Be patient. Trade with confidence. Put your stops in. Let the trades work out for you. So I believe what's here? What's there? What is this? Just 100? Yeah, that's 100. All right. Now here's a chance you might get lucky. I doubt it. This is when I like to try to play. If I miss the turn, one of those lone wolves would be. Let's see if it plays out. It'll make some high, and then it'll roll really hard to squeeze all these, like say, late longs in that came in. They'll give you one bar. They could come all the way down right here to 675, but that's yet to be seen. What do we get up to? 9.5. So if it were to roll, it would be down to 6.5. What could be squeeze everybody out. So let's.
Order canceled.
I'll go above.
Order
I'm gonna go
submitted.
above it and see if I can get lucky. I've seen them happen a lot, and the beauty of them is if you get one of them in this type of condition, and trust me, I've seen them happen often. With momentum is still strong, and you'll get like a bar or two of a little weakness. Price will shoot down real hard. They'll squeeze you all out, and then momentum will just rebuild. All it is a squeeze out. It happens a lot, but that's for further training and experience trading. And if and when it's somewhere you guys get to, then we'll deal with that. Right now, I'm trying to just teach you the basics of what I'm doing and what I've been teaching for about the last 5 6 years. Like I said, I was a moderator in the quick pop trading room for a long time, and really nice room. And it was a really nice experience. I enjoyed working with a lot of new traders. I do enjoy teaching this, but I realize it's really difficult to teach patience. I think it's hard for people to get caught up in it, and then some traders don't take advantage of what's in front of them, and then they find themselves doing things they shouldn't be doing. It gets a little goofy. So broke the trend line, challenging your moving averages, and it's game back on. So you know, I missed it. I was in a short, and sometimes those are really hard things that you're playing one side of the market. you're looking for a payout and some continuation, and then it stops in the middle of nowhere, and then you have to make that decision. And you saw, I was challenged with it. I thought about the reversal long, and to be honest with you, it would have paid out. I would have taken them around 7.5, and I would have got my handles, and I would have been on my way out. So one more lone wolf would be down to about 8.25. That's the trend line.
Order submitted. Order canceled.
That's my last crack at it. That's the only way that I play a strong trend, and I think you can take a stop at it. The problem will have with all this is I can get hit at that price point, and this whole picture could be different, you know. But momentum is really strong, so I'll take a shot and then see what happens. Actually, it could go down to 7.25. I should have left my actually. No, I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna go in between eight and
Order
a quarter,
canceled.
7.25. I'm gonna go
Order submitted.
7.75. I'm gonna play in between it. And the only reason I'm doing that is because this thing can roll. 7.25 would be a bar change, and it would be a possible pivot reversal back to the downside. But once again, it's fighting all the bullishness right here. I think the market made its bottom right down there. I think it's pretty legit for now. Let's take a look at the Dow. Look at the Dow's all the way back up over 30, 34.1. Let's take a look at her 15. Let's see if there's any possibilities with them. This is still a really bearish picture, but 117, 149, 150 is the bigger number for them. So, and for them to even start thinking about the advance into the upside, it's a really bearish picture. All right, I'm not going to do too much videotaping, guys. That's my situation right now. I'll come back. I'm going to post this for you guys to take a look at it. And I'm probably, if I don't get these, I'm probably going to let it go. I don't want to chase anything here. I'm going to see how this area plays out, but that's how I'm seeing this. One more pull down with strong momentum. Maybe a little profit taken off of this move right here to shake all these late longs out, get them out of them, and then shoot and explode and maybe get back to the highs. I don't know. But this is how I'm going to play it out for the rest of the day. So unless I see something significantly change right in this pocket right here, and if I go to a blue to a red bar, I'm going to have to watch for that. And anything's possible at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to get back to you guys.